Hey, folks, welcome to a very special podcast. I have with me an incredible guest, the author of a really fascinating book. In fact, I want to just read his quick bio to you. Dr. Jack, great to see you. You are somebody who, is a visionary for healthcare. And, you went on this Mexico trip while in dental school, and just tell us about that, about this experience that you had in dental school in Mexico.
Yes, hi, Kary. Man, I still get a little emotional about it because of the impact that it had on my life. So in dental school, I got into dental school not because of passion or purpose, or I wanted to be a dentist or be in a medical field. It was more of job security and
Sure.
finding something that will give me stability. And then while I was in dental school, I think in the first year, end of the first year, we had an opportunity to go on a mission trip,
Okay.
and we flew into Mexico, and we set up a makeshift clinic inside this little village outside of Mexico City. And as I was treating patients for the first time, I had this young kid sit in front of me, this young girl, and she smiled, and all her teeth were completely decayed, black. I mean, this stuff that you only see in
Wow.
textbooks. I ended up extracting her teeth, gave her some antibiotics and pain medication, and then just went on treating other patients. And then about 2 days later, this little girl came and found me inside the church where we were working with her mom and grandma. And they had put together this little bracelet, and as a token of appreciation for getting her out of pain. And it's like
Wow.
and it was that moment I was just like, wait a minute, I actually have the power of transforming somebody's life. And dentistry is not just a career opportunity; it's an opportunity to really make an impact in other human beings' life. And
Mm,
I was touched by it, and it was the finally first time I felt a sense of meaning and purpose. And that stayed with me for the rest of my life. It really transformed the way I
wow.
viewed the future. It defined my vision, and it gave me a sense of purpose that I could ground myself to no matter what happened in life.
That's really powerful, that story. And we don't often think about it, but a smile can literally be life changing. I mean, think about it. Like, imagine if I came on and I was just frowning.
Yeah.
you know, or, when somebody smiles, it's contagious. They light you up. It can lead to business opportunities. So you are in an industry where you are literally igniting souls. You're literally changing lives. Let's talk a little bit about what you're currently doing. The last 20 years, you've opened up several locations of Kids Dental Place. You've scaled your practice model to successful enterprise. And in 2019, you merged with Hero Practice Services. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So the journey's been really incredible. I started my first dental practice 6 months out of dental school, and focused on working with underserved kids, and just staying true to what really moved me. Um, I was an immigrant to this country, so it had a bigger sense of understanding and sense of compassion of knowing what kids that don't have an equal opportunity to quality dental care, and being a source um, of treating them with love and compassion and understanding, and not just a number. Given the world that we were in, there are not too many dentists who fully with excitement went into treating underserved communities. It was just
Mm.
somewhat frowned upon as second class dentistry. Um,
You can't make it in
it's
the big
You can't make it. It's not as jazzy. It's not aesthetic dentistry. But again, 50% of California kids fell into that bucket, and only a handful of dentists wanted to treat those children.
Wow.
And some did as a transactional way of just getting through the care. And for me, it was an opportunity to really transform the way we treated children. And so my first practice, 6 months in, I thought I knew a lot. I was ignorant and young, and made a lot of mistakes early on. But I learned a lot about running a business side of dentistry. It wasn't just taking care of the patients and creating value. It was understanding cash flow and financials and making sure that you had money to pay the bills and cover payroll and invest in marketing and so forth. So the foundational principles that I discovered early on allowed us to really scale and grow beyond that one practice to multiple practices. And then I think 8 years later, and we were in 2 different states, multiple practices. From the financial perspective and growth was great, but I realized I was fully miserable inside. There was a void within me. I felt completely burnt out, extremely frustrated. I was still running around working in the practices, doing dentistry, covering my associates, managing payroll, doing the financials, and I was fulfilled by the growth that we've had, but completely unfulfilled as a human being inside. It was just miserable. So that was the point of really transformation in my life, that I stepped back, called it a mid-career crisis. I stepped back, really took a 10,000 high level view of what was going on within the practices. How did I get here? What was working? What was not working? And decided to really transform the way I wanted to move forward. And at the time, I had taken on a couple of partners that were associates of mine that we were probably not as aligned culturally and the philosophy. So I stepped back. I kind of removed myself and extracted myself from all the relationships that were not serving my future. Scaled back, sold a couple of my practices in Arizona, and decided to start all over again, doing with a clear vision of what I wanted to create. That was also the time that I, for the first time, committed to coaching and understood the power of what a coach could do in helping you see your blind spots, give you direction, give you clarity. And up until then, it was more experimenting to discover growth. After that, through coaching, it was just like almost quantum leaps in terms of using and utilizing other people's experiences to grow.
So you really saw coaching as I want everyone to hear this, but because people can obviously hire you as a coach, but I hire coaches. Coaches can essentially shorten the time for you to achieve success.
100%. And I'll give you a perspective. At that time, it was 10 years of practice. We went from $300,000 of revenue to, let's say at the end, it was like $5 million of revenue.
Wow.
A lot of experimentation, ups and down. And then from the moment that I decided to scale back and start all over again and invest myself in coaching and becoming a leader and more working on the business versus in the business, we went from $5 million to $20 million in revenue in 5 years. So tripled what we did in the first 10 years of my life because of that new mindset,
That's
of growth
amazing.
mindset.
Now, do you consider your book to be a coaching tool?
Absolutely. I think I've laid down the book from really extracting from my own life cycle of growth, stagnation, decline, transformation over and over again. So it is a form of not only a mindset, but also a process that somebody could really follow to see where they're on their own life cycle of their business, laid out a clear vision of where they want to go, understand all the obstacles and challenges, both internal, in terms of internal fear or belief system, or external obstacles that are holding them back from realizing the true potential of the business.
So good. I know you have several websites. I mean, you have, your company. What are places that people should visit?
So specifically for extraction, the book itself, it's extractionbook.com. And then for our company, Optimized Practice Services, it's optimizeps.com.
Yep. Excellent. We're going to show people those websites here. So I know we met in Strategic Coach.
Yeah.
And, I've been very impressed with all that you're doing. I think you just you carry yourself well, you're magnetic. Um, I've even been impressed with this. What is this right here? Let's say there's a person who's a dentist. They are seriously listening. They're like, "Oh my gosh, wow, where am I? What are they going to get with this report?"
You get a blink, a snapshot assessment of where you are and where the opportunities in your practice, a clear understanding of what are what the potential opportunities are, where you're stagnated, and where you could actually get some help and actualizing the potential, which leads you to a conversation. I would love to do a more of a deep dive conversation to get to know you, understand what your vision is, and then hopefully give direction, clarity, and support, and an opportunity to help you execute that vision.
That's awesome. So I love the way you laid this whole thing out. What is your passion? I mean, I caught loud and clear the mission trip, helping the young gal. Now you're working with other dentists. What's the big vision for your bigger future?
Um, you're absolutely right. So it's our initial mission driven practice was mission to save smiles, working with underserved kids, and that really resonated with me and grounded me up until the point where I'm at right now, which is starting with optimized practice services. And I think in terms of impact, what I could do myself in a dental chair, working with 10 to 12 patients a day was different than what I could do working on my practice and having multiple practices and impacting not only our team members but our associates. And now, what I could do with individual private practice owners and impacting through them and through their teams, the impact that they could have on their patients' lives and really
Mm,
optimizing their smiles and their care, I think it's just an exponential potential. And it's an exponential purpose because we have to be health conscious. You talked about the importance of a smile. It matters. It matters how we perceive people. It matters how we show up for a college interview or a job interview or relationships that we build. And
yeah.
through the practices, if we're really conscious and we're really focused, building a healthy practices where all
Mm,
the team members are aligned with that purpose of optimizing the smile for their patients and being a real partner with their patients to develop trust, to
yeah.
develop growth, and optimize their health. My impact indirectly with the practices will be exponentially bigger, and I want to work with practices to transform my purpose, not just owning the practices myself or limited to one location or one patient at a time.
I don't know why I thought of this story when you were chatting about your big vision, but as a kid, I one time saw a picture. It's called Jesus laughing.
Oh,
Have you ever seen that picture? If you Google it, but as a kid, it was like mind blowing because I didn't think Jesus ever laughed. And in my mind as a kid, I was like, wow, and it brought comfort to me because I just didn't have that picture. And, you think of certain people like Mother Teresa, the Pope, I don't know, Queen Elizabeth, like you don't often think of certain people as smiling. And yet a smile psychologically, I mean, it personifies acceptance, joy. It's huge. So I love what you're sharing here today. Um, what you have a team that you work with as well?
yes, we have a phenomenal team, and really being true to the extraction mindset and the process. Fundamentally, I feel like building a solid team that could support you and build a foundation of growth on is the most important aspect of allowing yourself to grow and scale. So we have a phenomenal team. We have a co-founder and a CEO, Josh Gwynn, from the Hero Practice Services. He was CEO of Hero Practice Services, and I shared the vision of what we wanted to do, and he joined the vision. And I'm so blessed because the talent and the experience that he shares compared to the talent and experience that I have, and combining those unique skills together, I think really creates a unique opportunity to serve and optimize our clients and our doctors that we want to impact.
We got a good team. They're researching this, but I mean, 2020, Joshua Gwynn, I love it. Talk to us about the extraction process, because I'm very curious. And by the way, I've seen your book a lot of places. I feel like it's one of these books that people need. But what is the extraction process?
Yeah, I mean, the extraction process really is just stepping back and looking at where you are in the life cycle of your growth in your business, and understanding where you want to go, being very clear. It's like almost looking at a map, right? And
With the
the
push
book
pen.
cover is a map with a push pen.
Yeah.
Understanding where you are right now, having a clear assessment, an honest assessment, including what's holding you back internally. Do you have some beliefs that are challenging you? Do you have issues with your teamwork that it's not really optimized? Are you where you're supposed to be? What's holding you back?
Wow.
And then having a clear picture of what you would ideally want to be in the future, building a bigger and better future for yourself. And that takes a lot of courage, because a lot of people have a hard time um, building a bigger vision. They're comfortable building a smaller vision built on what they've done in the past. But this is not about percentage of gains. It's about a vision, and it's not about a destination. It's actually a vision of having an intentional destination, direction that sends you growth, and having an emotional connection to that future state that pulls you forward, because it's exciting versus where you are. It gives you a sense of purpose. It gives you a sense of mission. It gives you a sense of excitement that allows you to step forward and actualize that potential.
And I would imagine that it attracts a really good team. Like, I don't know, high performers, people who show up filled up, people who are amazing. They're attracted to somebody who has a clear, bigger vision. Don't you think so?
Oh, absolutely. So when you do have that vision and you're so passionate and you're emotionally attached to that vision, it really sets the stage for others to come by. And a lot of people might not have that visionary mindset, but
Mm.
they want to be part of building a vision. And I say in the book, people don't follow the vision, they follow the visionary. So
Ooh, that's
if you're
good.
really passionate about what you do and you have a vision and you want to create something that's bigger than yourself, then you attract the right team members, and which is that fundamental process of extraction. Building healthy and collaborative teams that are aligned with your vision or are aligned with your values, and then as a team having a clear look and building a great roadmap of how are you going to grow by looking at the obstacles. And a lot of
Mm.
people look at challenges and obstacles and they shy away because it's challenging.
Yeah.
I encourage the readers to really look at the obstacles as the opportunity to transform into growth, because the obstacles hold the keys to what needs to be solved, what's missing,
Mm.
whether it's a team member or it's a system or it's a process or it's a capability that we could actually build to allow us to transform those obstacles into growth and actualizing our potential. So some of the fundamental steps is being open and honest of where you are, having a clear vision that you're really excited to create and bring forth into the future, attracting the right team members who are aligned with your vision and your values, and then building a roadmap, and then constantly experimenting and
Mm.
measuring and testing. Because business, I'm a science major. Business is no different than science.
Wow.
It's the willingness to set a hypothesis, which is an idea that you want to test it out, change the variables and gain the knowledge that you get out of it, and then reinvent and reapply. And not only that's fun, but it's exciting, and it builds not only character, but it builds your skills as a business owner, as a leader, because your confidence comes from testing all those variables, experimenting, growing, gaining the knowledge, and applying it as a forward momentum to actualize your true vision.
It's so good. It almost reminds me of this phrase, the truth hurts, but the truth will set you free. And I feel like with dentistry, it's similar. Like, nobody wants to go in and hear they have cavities or that they need a, what do you call it, a crown or something. But you don't get that fixed, you're gonna be in more pain.
100%, 100%.
Yeah.
And you have to face it. You have to face it. And then your business as a business owner, a lot of times, and I dive deep into the book about even before this process begins for the extraction process, it's being very open and honest with your own internal fears that may be holding you back, because they you said the truth hurts. There's we're sometimes afraid to face some
Yeah.
of the deeper fears and traumas that are holding us back, and unless we find the courage to, in the face of some of these fears, step forward into growth, we're going to be paralyzed by our past, and not have the joy of stepping forward into growth. If
Yeah.
you choose to step back into safety because of your fears, you'll never really grow and actualize your true potential, and
Mm.
celebrate the growth that you're supposed to have. And I think we all are supposed to embrace growth and celebrate growth and evolve as human beings.
How cool is it that you not only saw that young gal in Mexico set free, but now you're actually seeing dentists like this gentleman with a case study, and he says, "My family is happier because I'm more present." Is that's gotta be fulfilling.
It is, and it is what's pulling me forward, and it's what gets me excited because I've been there. And look, it's life's been tough. Dentistry's tough. Running a
Mm.
business is tough, especially post pandemic. We've been faced with so many challenges,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and if we're unwilling to extract ourselves from some of these moments of stagnation, and we allow the challenges to become habits,
Mm.
and kind of conform us into conformity of no growth, then we accept the reality as it is. We accept the reality of working hard. We accept the reality of not taking time away from work to celebrate with your family, and
Yeah.
we lose hope that there's another possibility to do things differently. And as a not only a coach and as a partner, when I see practice owners like Dr. Petrosian see the potential of their practice, see that they could actually take time away from their practice, integrate associates and have healthy teams and celebrate their life with their family while the practice is growing.
Wow.
It is joyful, it is meaningful, it's what allows me to step forward and develop and expand, optimize, to fulfill that mission that we have, helping doctors.
Folks, the book is called Extraction. One more time, I'm gonna show you a couple quick things here. Dr. Jack is absolutely crushing it. I love the fact that, hey, when he arrived, he didn't even speak English. Now he's really creating value all over the world. His website, as we mentioned, we'll share the link again, but I highly encourage you to tag your dentist that they can get freedom and find some of this success to grow it, to scale it. And I love this special thing here. Oh, by the way, a great team. And I love your process, your proven process is right here. But where was that again? Start here. Is that where we're going to see? Yep.
Yep,
The
extraction.
yes. So what do you call this? It's a report.
Call it a practice pulse assessment.
That's good. The practice pulse assessment. Love it. Well, Dr. Jack, I know that this is just the beginning and that you are doing incredible work. We know you're booking a lot of podcasts and you're able to share this message with other people. And thanks for coming on today and just talking about the fantastic book you have.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to share, and I appreciate your guidance as well, Kary.
Awesome. Stay tuned, folks, and go follow Jack. He's on social media. He has a great team over there as well.